Hello and welcome to another We Wonder. My name is Chris Pfluger. I am the Chief Development Officer here at We Insure. And today's We Wonder is, does We Insure work as a standalone but ancillary business to someone else's primary business? And that question comes up a lot as we've done national expansion from a couple of states to over 18 states now. We're working on a few more. We get that question quite a bit. Hey, listen, I'm in other lines of business, and I have a lot of leads and a lot of people to work with, and a lot of people that trust me, but I'd love to add insurance to that. So you could be a financial planner, you could be just in life and health, and you wanted to add property and casualty, or where it comes up quite a bit is I'm a real estate owner in office, and I already do other parts of the transaction, but I'd really like to help my clients and agents by adding insurance. So today we're joined by two different groups of folks. But we're going to start today, with Mandy Fulford and Terry. We're going to get to you in 1 second, but we're going to start with Mandy. You guys are in South Carolina, and Mandy, you have a real estate office, 4 of them, and with Remax, and you also have a mortgage entity that services those with a Motto Mortgage. Is that correct?
That's right, as well as property management company.
So you've got quite a few businesses that help not only the community around you, but all your agents, and you really service the clients quite a bit. So let me ask you the first question as we talk about Ancillary. What made you decide to add insurance at this time?
For us, it was a matter of serving our agents at a higher level, and then in turn, the agents serve the client at a higher level. So the real estate business is, in general, going toward a one-stop shop model. It's happening on a national level with other companies, even with non-brokerage companies that are involved in the real estate space. So for us to be able to compete in that and provide the highest level of service to our agents and clients, we had to be able to remove barriers and roadblocks in the transaction and just make the transaction a smoother and easier process. So insurance was a natural piece of that.
Fantastic. And so as you went through that process, you obviously did some due diligence. I've known you for a while. So we had some conversations about We Insure, and you looked at a few options. You talked to a few folks, and you said, it looks like this is a great option for you. What made you decide to look at We Insure as what you were going to go with to fill that gap?
Yeah, it was actually pretty easy once I found this model. I did look at other insurance companies. I've been exploring it for several years, and it just never quite felt like a fit. So the few things that really drew me to this opportunity, the servicing aspect, our producer in office is responsible for writing policies. We on a regional or national scale is the one that services the policy. So we don't have to do that in office. So that felt much easier to me. We want to work with the customer, helping them get into the right policy that's the right fit for them, not necessarily the servicing end. We want to leave that to pros at servicing. The other piece of it was it's very simple to get into. It's quick to start, and it's very simple to start up. Nothing complicated. The other part was ease of sale of the business and the asset down the road. We hope to be in this for the long haul. We look forward to a long relationship with but it appears to be something that would be easily transferable to another entity when we are at that point in our lives.
Fantastic. And again, not knowing me, that was part of it. I know it was the key part, but I know it was too embarrassing to say. So we're going to go on with, yes, it has a lot of good service. And the model itself, I know I've talked to a lot of owners over the years. Prior to coming aboard, I actually ran a large entity that had insurance in it. And unless you were really, really large and had done it 10 years before, it didn't make a lot of sense. I didn't want a storefront. Am I going to be able to put all this together? The overhead seemed so high for what it was. And in this model with not only do we have carrier access and we do all the appointments and we do a lot of the training, we put things in place, have great technology, but really the simplicity and the flexibility of the model itself allows you to put it inside your Remax office, right? And one of them, and still service all your agents across the board. So I guess the next question would be, what does it look like? I mean, it's not traditional, right? It's not like you walk down the street and you see a big sign and it's a storefront. So what does it look like in your situation?
Right. I mean, I think it's better than traditional because our we is located right inside one of our Remax offices, literally in an office where an agent used to sit. It makes it super easy for agents to ask questions of Terry, to open a relationship with Terry. We have walk-in customers that come in and meet with our agents, and it makes it super easy again for them just to walk right over and ask insurance questions, as opposed to it being this huge next step where they have to call an outside party, start that phone call, relationship, communication. They just walk right over and have a conversation with Terry. And she has just become part of our Remax culture. She's part of our family as opposed to a whole separate entity, which makes it easier for the agent and, of course, the consumer.
Well, you mentioned at the beginning, and I don't want to lose this point, the professionalism of today's agent is key, right? So, it's not like you can buy a car and it's the same car anywhere you get it, and it's just, you just pick it up anywhere. Homes are wildly different. And so you need a professional to talk about, one house may look like another, but neighborhood to neighborhood, they're wildly different, and it could make a big mistake for a consumer coming in from another location buying in your area. So, having that professional there is really critical. But that professional's level of understanding and resources really comes into play as well. So when you mentioned that one-stop shop, and Terry, we want to have professionals on staff that can help us answer those questions for your clients all the way up and down the transaction, not just whoa, I only do real estate. So good luck on the rest of it, right? So that's not going to fly anymore. That's not the future of real estate. So I just want to echo that point and saying congratulations on putting in another level of service for your agents and all your clients. So
thank you. Yeah, it's certainly, you're right. I mean, the agent has to provide so much more information, and yet they're not an expert in all of these fields. Terry and I just had a situation the other day where we're a huge relocation, retirement, second home market. So we just had a situation the other day where a family moving from Maryland. Insurance is totally different than it is at the beach. And Terry was able to provide, in a really educational, consultative form, just information to help them understand what the differences are. And for myself personally, I didn't have a lot of experience in the insurance industry prior to opening this. And it's been eye-opening, the options that we're able to provide through a brokerage model and having so many different carriers, as opposed to some other companies. The way that Terry explained it was, they're selling their product. We are working for the customer, finding the option that's best for the customer from all of the products that we have to offer and all of the carrier choices that we have. So it's exactly what our agents needed as far as presenting all of those options and that professionalism that just really enhances their image as agents.
Well, I couldn't have said it better. And again, we were alluding to her and mentioning her. We might as well introduce Terry Branson right now. So it's impossible to do this, especially as an ancillary, without a fantastic agent in charge and someone who fits with not only within your culture, but is really an expert on the topic and help the agents do that. We mentioned Terry numerous times. Terry, how are you?
Doing great.
Great. So I see the We Insure in the background. I know that there's 4 locations. You're primarily based in one of the offices, but I'm sure you can help all the agents in any office.
I do, and I try to get out to visit each of the offices and connect with the agents in person. And that's been a little bit of a challenge since we opened in October and still coming off a lot of COVID distancing and everything. So we've done some other things to connect. I shoot a video every week and post it to the Remax Southern Shores Facebook page, and then email it to all of the agents in the company. And of course, some of them don't open them, but we're finding that week to week, more and more do, and that drives them to ask a question either for a client or for themselves. And so we keep building inroads and relationships with all of the Remax agents.
Well, I was always surprised, how little I did know about insurance prior to this. And trying to go through, you see advertisements on TV, and, we always joke about it, until they put a VIN number on the side of your house, you're going to have a professional really assess your property to get a right value. And if you try to do it online, I can guarantee you 100% of the time it's wrong and needs to be fixed. So, why not start with a professional in the beginning? And again, that's you. So my next question for you then would be, how have you kind of become part of the transaction? I know it's becoming part of the culture, but it's something that's important to agents, but they don't think about insurance first. Surprisingly,
Right.
it's something they don't think about first, but it's something that's absolutely necessary for every single person out there, and in every transaction, it's necessary toward the end. So, how do you try to work with the agents and become part of that transaction?
It starts with relationship building with each of the agents, of course, because they've got to develop a level of trust that I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to make them look bad. I'm not going to foul up their transaction. I mean, we all know that for all of us, the main focus is let's get these people to closing so we can all be paid. So sometimes it's literally agent by agent making those connections. But the ones that I'm working with so far either just ask their client to email or call me, or they send me a bare bit of information and kind of set up their client and say, hey, we have an in-house insurance gal. Her name is Terry Branson. She's going to give you a call or email, whatever they prefer. And we just open the conversation with them. And I'm always copying in the realtor so they know that, yes, indeed, I did contact their client. This is what I sent them. Here's where we are on the process on my end.
Fantastic. And again, that's a great way to be involved in it. And again, there's a couple ways to approach it. And again, you're going at it multiple ways. But as time goes on, I think everyone's going to realize, based on your level of experience and understanding and breadth of offering, that there's no better place to go than with Terry, right? To ask Terry those questions and get those answers. So
that's exactly what we want them to think and do. In fact,
well,
I was telling Mandy a week or so ago, like I call it a win anytime an agent walks past my door and stops in and asks me any kind of insurance question, no matter how simple, if it's about their own or their brother-in-law's, cousin's, nephew, whatever, because I feel like, okay, they're starting to say, yeah, I can actually get real accurate answers from this gal sitting in here.
Well, I think they'll be surprised too. It's one of those things where we talk about this a lot. If someone purchases a home, and you're the real estate, company, and you're a real estate agent, they purchase a home. They may have gotten, mortgage through the entity. They may have even gotten some title. They may have gotten almost anything. But if they've gotten a great rate in the last 6 months, they've already got a house and they don't need anything for 10 years. What can you offer them? Like you can try to keep in touch, which we all do. But the reality of it is we know one thing they need for sure every single year, and it comes up every 6 months on their auto, is insurance. And so it's a way to stay in touch with the agents in between the transactions, but also bring that much more value to the relationship that you have. And I think they're surprised to find out afterwards that you not only can do homeowners and auto, but it could be boat, it could be a strip mall, it could be an umbrella policy. I mean, it's almost, everything you can think of, Terry can help you with. And so that's the part I think will get to everybody as they learn more about what you do.
Exactly right.
Perfect. Well, I know that you came aboard after a fantastic career in insurance. You're not on day one here, right? So my question is, we have training, for WeInsure. This is a very WeInsure question. So we have WeInsure training, we have carrier access, we have support. We tout those things on the front end. Did it meet your expectations?
Yeah, it really did. The promises and the expectation that I heard is Mandy and Tad and I were even discussing before we all committed to starting our WeInsure branch. All of that was true and accurate. The other great thing for me has been to find that our product manager at We is totally open to starting conversations with other carriers and brokers if I find somebody or I'm aware of somebody that is important in my area that maybe isn't in Florida or not a big player someplace else, that they'll open those conversations and contract if it's something that I find that I really need. So that's been really wonderful as well.
That's great, because I know we had that conversation about an hour ago. I'm on a committee that we talk about, which carriers that we have and where we're trying to place new carriers based on demand. And so we have all the national carriers maybe in place, on day one, and you may find a regional specialist or something that really works in your area that you say, listen, I've got to have that. We'll go to work on that immediately, vetting that particular carrier and getting it for you. So I'm glad to hear it is working for you. So,
it is.
All right. Mandy, Terry, thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to switch over and introduce our next guest. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to make that switch over, and we're going to thank those two. And again, we're still talking about ancillaries, right? So insurance is an ancillary business, and we're going to remain on the topic of insurance, but also on real estate. And so we have someone I've worked with for quite a while. Angela Duncan is joining us, and she's joined by her producer and her agent in charge, Caitlin Arrington. So those two are in the same place together. No need for masks. They are COVID-free. So we wanted to start off with this. And again, Mandy had some good points, and Terry had some fantastic points as well. We're going to build on that. So I'm going to start again with you, Angela. You and I have known each other for a few years. I worked with you on both sides of the house, and really respect what you guys have done and grown the business over the years. And you're basically just a machine. Your office is amazing. Your agents are amazing. It's something that we expect to see in an office, with RE/MAX and now with We Insure. So let's start from the beginning. You're the one that told me about this. So this is an interesting interview. Why did you decide to add insurance? I know it came up in the story, but why did you decide to add insurance to a real estate business?
Yeah, awesome. Yes, Chris, we've known each other a long time. And, we were kind of looking, our real estate office is a little bit different. For us, we're very staff heavy. So for us, customer service is huge. And, we also track our numbers, and we had a partner that we had worked with for many years on the insurance side and just could not understand why he wasn't able to capture as many people as we thought he should on, our clients that are coming through our real estate office. So we really dove into it, and it really came down to our clients saying it was the service. He wasn't getting in touch with them. He wasn't returning their phone calls. He didn't have enough people in place to deliver that kind of service that we expected for our clients. And that's kind of how we started down the route with, we really need to partner with someone or perhaps start our own in order to deliver that service that we expect for our clients to have. So that was really important for us.
Fantastic. And again, oops, sorry, a little feedback. I've talked with us a few times about why you decided to go with insurance. And it looked like it worked out quite well for you. So you jumped in and got licensed yourself and decided, I'm going to go with a We Insure. So what made you, as you did your due diligence, what made you decide on We Insure specifically?
So when I first got my license, we had planned to partner with this other company. He was an independent, and I really didn't know, you don't know what you don't know. So when I got my license and it didn't work out, I thought, okay, well, we'll just go open our own. Well, in Florida, it's very hard to get carrier access, and I learned that quite quickly. So we started looking at different franchises, and we interviewed every franchise that was available in Florida. And when we met with We Insure, this was pre-COVID, so we went and met them at the corporate office. We got to meet the leadership team, and I really felt like they wanted to deliver the same service that we want to deliver to our clients. And also, We Insure was in growth mode, and we are in growth mode. So we felt like all of that just aligned with how we felt business should be handled, and it was just an ideal fit for us. And that was almost 2.5 years. So definitely happy with our decision.
Well, you've done a great job. Obviously, you were Rookie of the Year, and then you started growing your staff. So tell me about your office. So we talked to Mandy, and she said, kind of her We Insure is set up, better than the traditional models. And I would agree, because of the flexibility. We have the ability to put a location almost anywhere. So tell us about your location.
Yep. So very similar to Mandy, Caitlin sits in our RE/MAX office. She has an office. Everyone that works with us sits in that same office. We have our staff that works in office as well, so they're constantly talking to each other. We also have our title company that's in our office. So it just helps us deliver that high level service, because we are able to just walk down to the other office and figure out what's going on, or how do we help this client. So it's very important to us too, to have us all in one location. So it just makes communication very fluid.
So do you think your clients and your agents, really appreciate the one-stop shop aspect of it, having everything in the same location?
Yeah, absolutely. Like if a buyer went under contract, they're dropping off their escrow check, then we can meet with them. We can make sure we get all the questions answered, find out what their needs are. They have a face to go with the name in the email, and it just helps build that relationship from the start with our office.
Fantastic. Next question. She doesn't get no feedback. Sorry. And the next question is, you can't do it, just by yourself, as you noticed. So you and I have talked about this. You were doing it solo, and you did an amazing job. And you said, "Man, I wish I'd brought someone on sooner." Now you have someone that's kind of running that team for you and really taking the ball and running. So we have Caitlin joining us. So Caitlin, welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
Right. And so you are doing a lot of the production work, in the office, and you're meeting with the agents, you're doing everything else and doing an amazing job. So tell us, how do you network with the agents in the office?
Every week on Thursday, we have a team meeting with all of the staff in the office, and that's a great time for us to communicate. And we actually educate the realtors on what changes are going on in the insurance world. So it's really great.
So you give them a little bit of education as well as the ability to kind of interact with them so they see you there. And there's, you have a primary one location. So you're right there and everything's out of a hub. And so you're there in front of them all the time. So that makes it a lot easier. The educational time, do you spend a lot of time with them? Do you see a lot of agents coming in and asking you detailed questions for the clients or for themselves, similar to what we heard from Terry?
Yes. Sometimes it will be more towards a specific house, and especially flood insurance, especially in Florida. Everywhere is a flood zone, and educating them on elevation certificates and how useful those are in finding their clients the best rates.
Well, I can attest to the fact that you guys do an amazing job. As I have personally saved money by using WeInsure through your agency. I can tell you that without that, I was referred to other folks, and they said, and just Mandy said it best, earlier, the person who's on the other end of this, whether it's with a captive agency like an Allstate, a Farmers, a State Farm, where they're only selling one product set, they're selling what's best in their arsenal, which is one thing, right? This is what I've got for you. But with WeInsure, you're kind of offering what's really best in the marketplace and fits my needs, not just only thing you have. And so I can tell you, personally from experience that I've needed it, I've used it. And when we've gotten it, we've actually gotten much more competitive pricing with better carriers and better coverage by having that much access to carriers as we go through. So I can tell you personally, I'm a big fan, hence the reason I work here. But I can tell you guys do an amazing job. Anything else that you wanted to add on your side? So, Caitlin, you've been here for a little while. You've gone through trainings, you've gone through, you've used our support teams. Has there ever been an instance where you thought to yourself, boy, I wish they would add more of this? Or, how do you feel about that carrier access, the training, the support, the team that you work with?
I believe that carrier access is extremely important because the market is getting tighter and tighter, and it helps you have that client retention. And we're in the insurance industry, you want to retain those clients, and you want to be able to provide them all lines of insurance. So like you said, with the cross-selling, letting them know that besides home and flood, we do auto, travel trailers, umbrella policies. And then in regards to the options for your clients, all these different carriers, you may have a bad experience with one company from a past claim, or you may get a non-renewal because they're reducing their risk in a certain area. So it's all about client retention. And I think the carrier access is big on that.
Yeah. And Caitlin just brought on 2 more sales associates to our team. And so, we've shown them the WeInsure coffees, the epic training, all of the videos that we have. It's much easier for her to be able to train those 2 people at the same time when she can just direct them to go hop on that call or the YouTube or like the things that you do. It helps save us time. And it just, it's really beneficial for us to have all of that training that we have.
That's fantastic. And you're in the same situation. You may be leading with homeowners, but you're going to cross-sell into auto. I'm betting there's some boats in Florida, so boats and jet skis and golf carts and whatever it might be down there. I'm betting that you have just a large number of things to keep going back to clients and helping them with every aspect of their life, not just the homeowner side. So.
And it's great that the marketing team at WeInsure automatically does those cross-sell emails. So they reach out to our existing clients, letting them know what else we have to offer. And that helps relieve something off of us to focus on new business.
That's great. Well, I have to say thank you for being here. And I think that your insights have been fantastic. I appreciate all of you joining. Mandy and Terry just dropped off, but for them joining as well. And again, I think it helps everybody to hear that, it's not just about one aspect of the business. It's really about helping your clients through multiple stages and really being that one-stop shop. So you guys epitomize, what one would expect. Both of these teams are fantastic. And again, thank you very much for joining me, and have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
Thank you.